Okay, let's take a look at number 7. When I first looked at number 7, I kind of had to wonder why it's even in this section. Because this section is mostly about substitution, using substitution to find definite integrals. But this particular question doesn't require substitution. We don't have to do any substitution. We just need to take this integral and solve it. So this is something we've done before, and I'm including this video just because it's different enough in this section that it might throw you off. You might wonder what you're supposed to be substituting, and the truth is there is no substitution. This is just like the definite integrals that we did a section ago. So no big deal, we're going to go ahead and solve this. So the integral from 1 to 4 of 4 plus 1 over x plus e to the x dx. Okay, well the integral of 4 is 4x. The integral of 1 over x, we know that's the natural log of the absolute value of x. And the integral of e to the x is e to the x. And we're evaluating this whole thing from 1 to 4. Okay? Now, when we do this integral with the natural log, when we take the integral of 1 over x and we get the natural log of the absolute value of x, the reason we have the absolute value signs there is because if we don't know what x is, it might be negative, and there is no such thing as a natural log of a negative number. So we put those absolute value signs there just in case x is negative, so that we don't have something that just doesn't work. But in this case, we've got a positive 1 and a positive 4, so as we work through this, we can kind of ignore those absolute value signs. Because these numbers are positive, it's not that important anymore. But if you don't know what the numbers are, if it's not a definite integral and you know both numbers are positive, you've got to keep that absolute value there, because otherwise you could run into the case where there's a negative number in here, and that's just never going to work. It's just not defined. There are no natural logs of negative numbers. So, but we're gonna ignore it. So when the absolute value signs go away from here on out, it's because I know that these two numbers are positive and that there's no conflict. Okay? So this equals 4 times 4 plus the natural log of 4 plus e to the 4th power, right? And that's a minus, I can do my math here, minus 4, well, times 1, so I'm just going to leave that as a 4, plus the natural log of 1 plus e to the 1. Okay? And so that gives me 16 plus the natural log of 4 plus e to the 4th minus 4. Now you want to remember this. This is important enough that it's something you should remember. If you don't, plug it into your calculator and say it 15 times really fast and you'll never forget it. The natural log of 1 is 0. So 4 plus 0, that's not going to really help me. I don't need to add a plus 0 or a minus 0 here. So we're just going to understand that this was equal to 0, so it goes away. And that's plus, well, actually not plus, got to distribute that minus sign, minus e. Okay? And so that leaves me with, if I simplify things, I've got 16 minus 4, that's going to give me 12, plus the natural log of 4, plus e to the 4th, minus e. And that's the answer that they're looking for here. Don't do what I did right here and forget to distribute that minus sign. That's pretty important in solving this question. So this is not substitution. Pretty much everything else up until this point on this homework has been substitution, but this is not substitution. This is just doing the regular rules that you know how to do to find integrals of things like constants and integrals of things like 1 over x and integrals of things like e to the x. And then plug in, simplify, and you're all set.